great teacher is someone that helps me learn what is.
I have a great teacher because she does this dinosaur and Turtles theme stuff.
A great teacher who is someone who is kind and they push us to reach our goals.
I had a great teacher in fourth grade. I got stuff from her because I did all what I needed to do in my behaviors.
I have a fun math teacher because she makes us fun math games. I have a great teacher because she makes us costumes and we do many things. Someone who teaches me and divides and multiplies and loves me.
What makes a teacher a great teacher? They care about us, they teach us, and we get to learn about new things.
A great teacher is when a teacher is kind, helps you with your work.
So we shared that because we just think it's important to just have the different perspectives of students through the lens of a student. So, thinking about working at a high needs school, it's so important to understand what your why is. Being at a high needs school isn't for everybody. It is very challenging, but it is so incredibly rewarding as well. But that why you do it every day, that why is going to feel how you do it. So it's so important to know that why. Write it on a Post-it note. Look at it every day because it can definitely be something that fuels every decision that you make. Everyone always asks kind of what the what's your story? How did you get, into the different roles that you've been in? So just to show you guys the different paths. I was a classroom teacher at an elementary school. Then I moved into a literacy coach at a high school level, which was very interesting. So I went from elementary to high school. Then I became a college and career specialist at Oak Ridge High School, and then I was an assistant principal at Apopka High School, and now I get the privilege of being an elementary school principal at Union Park. So I've always worked at a school that was considered high needs, and I've always worked with at-risk populations, and it's been something that I'm very passionate about. So throughout this presentation, you're going to hear, and in your breakout rooms, you're just going to hear different strategies and things that we've learned along the way. So a marigold is essentially a plant that is considered a communal plant, and it's something that when planted around other plants, it makes them stronger. So at Union Park, we really think it's important, especially for our new teachers, but really for all teachers, to find those marigolds on campus and to make sure that we are marigolds on campus. So education summed up, especially at a high needs school, it's so important to be flexible. It's so important to be thick-skinned. It's so important that we are resilient, meaning we're able to bounce back from multiple things that may come in our direction. Vision oriented, you may not get the wins every day, but you're going to get different types of wins, and we're going to talk more about that. But you're going to get the wins that may not be able to be measured on a state assessment, and they may be. It's so important not to generalize or to assume to go one way or the other. We'll talk a little bit about being self-aware. So that's something that is a really big deal in education, but especially if you're working at a school that has some different needs. You may not live in the community of which you serve, so it's so important to recognize what you don't know, and then figure out how you are going to know it by building those connections and getting into the communities and connecting with people. But these are the things that I think that working at any school, but especially at a school with some different needs and some high needs, that bounce back is often, and it is something that is it's part of why we do what we do. About Union Park, so we have a Hispanic population. Historically, the building has been rebuilt. It's a little over 500 students. Currently, we have half of our students online, half of our students face-to-face. The majority of our teachers are teaching one or the other. We do have a few that are teaching a hybrid blended model, but the majority are teaching one or the other, and that's very intentional. Sorry guys, my son just walked in the door, so I'm giving him a big smile right now, and he didn't walk, he was scared. But currently we are 100% Title I school. We do have a dual language magnet program, and that means that we have a cohort of students each grade level that are learning both in English and in Spanish. So it's a pretty amazing opportunity for our students. We do have great mentoring for new teachers. It's still in the works. It's still being, it's still consistently being tweaked, but we actually had a teacher leader work side by side with us to develop mentoring for new teachers. We have mentoring for students. We have something that we offer for any of our teachers, or even lead team members that are interested possibly in pursuing leadership at some point in their career. A session monthly where we just come together and talk about different topics in leadership. It's pretty cool. And then this year we added dance to our coursework at our school because we felt that it was important to strengthen the pipeline between us and when they go to the high school level. We just think it's so important to start flipping and shifting the narrative at our school. We do have a diverse population of students. You can read about us on paper. We are high needs. We are definitely have population of students that have experienced trauma. You will see at the end of this from the eyes of a student. We received quite a lot of students after some of the natural disasters and some of the islands. We did receive some students. We look at it at our school. I think it's important to say it out loud that we don't necessarily just register students. So yes, we have a transient population, meaning we gain and lose students quite often, which can make it emotionally challenging for our teachers. But we think it's so critical that we enroll families. So when a student is new to our school and register, we try to connect with the entire family. And so that's something that's very critical when working at our school. Some things that we've learned along the way, and I just said it a little bit, relationships are first, and you're going to hear about this in a couple of the breakout rooms, but relationships are first and everything else is second. And I really mean that. This is like a catchphrase in education: relationships. But realistically, relationships is literally what will open the doors for just about everything else. Relationships meaning, do you know that student's story? Do you know how to get through? That's the best type of classroom management, and you will hear about that. Know who you're serving. If you do get the opportunity to work at a high needs school, you may not live in that community, and that's okay. But if you're not going to live in that community, you have to be aware of that community. You have to be able to respect, honor, and love that community and learn about that community. Loving your students, but also knowing that your students have people, and it's easy to stand back and to judge or to make assumptions or generalizations about the community and their family. But it's so critical to recognize that to the parents and to the guardians, these little people are their whole entire worlds, and likewise for the students. So we have to build those connections and those relationships with the families, and we try really hard to meet families where they are and recognize and respect and love them so much, and then appreciate the growth in everything. This job, as you guys may have just already felt, and just and my team can also speak to it, it's challenging. It's very hard. And then when you're working at a high needs population of school, it's very challenging. But the wins are so sweet and they're so rewarding. But you got to get there, and you got to celebrate those little things along the way. And I think that is so critical in education. We often advocate for what is right. The teachers that are on this team at Union Park right now, they will advocate for what is right. It's not just accepting what's been given to you. It's recognizing that one size doesn't fit all. And the resource that's being shared with you and being told you have to do is the same resource that's being shared with a very, affluent population. And it's not to say that our students cannot do it, but we have to be able to advocate for what is right. And that's so important in education, and especially when you're working at a high needs school. Sharing your experiences and perspectives. I don't think I can say enough that the best teachers, in my perspective, the best teachers are the ones that are authentically themselves. And that doesn't happen overnight, because you have to build your craft and you have to get comfortable and confident. But the teachers, and you'll hear again about this also in some of the sessions, but the teachers that are truly authentically themselves and able to share that passion and their true self with their students, that's where I think you see the real magic. So like I said, celebrating the little ones, the little wins. They're the little ones and the big ones, and there will be big ones. Don't ever think that because you're working at a Title I or a high needs school that the wins aren't there. The wins are definitely there. The wins, just as educators, we have to recognize that wins look different everywhere you go. Sometimes the wins are the test scores. Sometimes the wins are the growth. I live in the growth. I think the growth is key. Sometimes the win is a student showing up for 4 days in a row. Sometimes the win is a student, being able to express themselves. All of those are wins, and every day is a win. So it's so important to celebrate those. Pep talking is key, I think, in education, being able to give those pep talks. But I can't stress enough that you don't have the credibility to give the pep talk if you don't have the relationship first. So I think that is so key everywhere, anywhere you go, whether you're at a high needs school or a very affluent school. It's not one and the same. You have to get the credibility and build the authentic relationship before thinking you can have some type of a level of respect. It's really that mentality of, I'm going to build the relationship, connect, and then you have this opportunity to really motivate and push your student. Like I said, the results can be transformational. I think working at a school that some have written off is so rewarding because we see the work, and it's definitely work, but we see the work and we see the transformation with the work. But you have to recognize that it's your classroom and you get to make it what you want. So like being that engagement piece, that just being hands-on, you guys really get the chance to be a part of somebody's story. I do want to say, because it kind of came up on our last tour, working at a high needs school, you are not, we're not there to save students. We are there to be a part of a student's life, to plant seeds, to lay foundation, but we're there to serve, to serve the student population that you get the opportunity to have in your classroom. So I just think that's really critical. And then we just want to show kind of Ms. Nugent made a video of the day in the life at UPE. And then I have one more thing, and then I will turn it over. But I just want to share this with you.
Coach Farringer at Union Park Elementary here in Orlando. It's so many great things going on here at the school. We have mastered the social distancing and being able to be outside using color-coded things. We got kids having a great time. You can hear them right now. Hope to see you.
I'm the school secretary bookkeeper. The thing that I love the most for working at UPE is that we are a family. We work together as one. So I invite you to come and visit.
Why do you like coming to UP?
Because it's fun, because we're having a Thanksgiving challenge.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Awesome job, Eric. right. Can you tell us your name, please?
Miss Flag,
Okay. And what's your position here?
program assistant,
Awesome. And what is one thing that you like about Union Park?
my awesome coworker.
So we just shared that video because, we think that it's so important for you guys to see what it looks like with masks virtually. It is different, but we think it's so important to share that. And then one more thing I did want to share with you is, one more thing I want to share with you is a quick video. And these are from the eyes, like I said, this is from the eyes of a student who he's actually in middle school now, but this was a student that actually had to pick up everything and move and come to our school after the hurricane. And his mom actually works at our school currently. But I think hearing from his perspective is so critical in understanding the why. And so I'm going to play this video, and I hope that it resonates. Let me see if I can turn quiet here. Here we go.
We are moving. You have only one suitcase to put all your clothes, shoes, and toys. The rest will stay. Those were the words my mom said to me the day she decided to move to Florida after Hurricane Maria. I don't blame her. Everything was destroyed, and she wondered what was best for us. But oh dear, what a challenge. Many kids of my generation have faced this challenge with no positive results. Sometimes it's more easy, other times it's more difficult. In my case, I have faced many challenges, but none as unique and life-changing as moving to a new country. First, I needed to leave my precious island, but how was I going to sleep without my enchanting song with Michael Kay, or waking up and not seeing my beautiful Caribbean sea? It was definitely going to be a hard challenge to leave my mountains, rivers, and white sand beaches. However, everything was destroyed, and it was going to take a long time for Mother Nature to recover. So I closed my eyes with tears running down. I got into an airplane. At that moment, my second challenge covered my mind. I was leaving my grandma, grandpa, and uncles and cousins behind. My family, my friends, everybody. But I knew that my family was always gonna be there for me. So I decided to be positive. We arrived to Florida. At the beginning, I was nervous because I was in a new country with new people that I did not know. I did not have a house, a car, and my toys and the things I was used to have. It was a challenge for me because I did not know how to speak fluently in English. Then I was seeing on TV, then the day I was scared about arrived. Then the day I was scared about arrived. I had to go to school. I had to know new kids, new teachers, and new principals, and new stuff. And I was really, really confused. I had to do work on computers. I had to write essays, poems, multiply and divide, and so many things and norms. And it was definitely a hard challenge for me. I was lucky. I have seen on TV that other kids have been separated violently from their country with no positive results. Some are treating them really bad. Like them, I had to leave everything behind me. However, I am starting to see that my mom was correct about moving to Florida. So, here I go.
And that's all. I just think that video is so important because I think that it really showcases the reality of the students that we get the opportunity to serve at UPE. So I just wanted to share that with you in hopes that you were able to gain some perspective of the students that we serve and from their lens. So Ms. Bonnie, that's all I have for at this moment. So I'm going to stop sharing and let you take it away.
Okay, fantastic. So we are going to go into smaller breakout rooms. They're still going to be pretty large because we have a great crowd on here tonight. So I'm excited to say that you'll have about 15 to 16 people in your session with you. I will rotate the facilitators only. So we will do 3 8-minute sessions. And when I kick off the rooms, you're going to click to accept. You're going to go into the room, and then facilitators, as soon as I see that everybody's in the room, I'm going to go ahead and give you a message to start session 1. All right, here we go. I'm opening the rooms, and we have a special guest. I see Mrs. Ramirez. That's your little one.
I know. I can't even apologize because I was so happy to see him. So
He's
my husband,
so cute.
yes,
Glad he's
he
with us
just turned
tonight.
8 months yesterday. He's very interested in working at Union Park Elementary, so he just wanted to see. He wanted to see the tour. So he's
Okay, here we go.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ms. Valles. You are, the current session that we're going to be talking about is just going to be your beginning year teacher support at OCPS as well as here at UPE. So we will go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. All right, so beginning year teacher support here at UPE. So just a quick agenda for today, we're going to talk about you as new Mustangs, the support that OCPS provides, as well as the support that we provide, talk about your monthly meetings, your Marigold connections, the coaching support we have here, and then the fact that all of you, regardless of where you are in your education journey, do make a difference. So just in terms of new Mustangs, it's very important to us that on your first days of campus, you obviously get to know our school. So receiving a campus tour, learning who are the people that you need to know, whether it's a custodian, somebody in the front office, the school nurse, the people on your team, special areas. We want to make sure that you kind of get to know everybody here on campus and definitely the key stakeholders here on campus. We'll also have, if you start in the summer, we'll have a new to UPE induction. That's not just for new teachers, it's for anybody new on campus. But it's definitely a big thing to us because we kind of get to teach you a little bit about our why, our expectations of you as teachers here on campus. But then also you guys get to be inducted into our house system. So if anybody knows anything about Ron Clark, we do have the house system here on campus, and during that time, you would be inducted. A house would choose you. I know you guys probably saw some pictures when we were showing the slideshow of students wearing red, green, blue, or black shirts with like a name on the back. And that kind of just helps you to build relationships with other students and staff here on campus. And obviously, last but not least, just making sure that you continue to build those relationships with our staff and faculty here on campus to make this feel as much as a family to you as possible. I'm not going to go over a lot in depth for our OCPS beginning teacher support. However, within your first 3 years of teaching here in the county, you will have to go through this new teacher induction for OCPS. It's a couple of courses that you'll have to take, as well as kind of like a portfolio that you build. And it kind of teaches you some classroom management strategies, goes over some of the things that you need to know on campus, our code of ethics. And then, like I said, teachers typically, they have 3 years to finish it. However, many teachers do finish it within the first 2 years. I would be the lead mentor that you would work with, and then I would pair you up with somebody else on campus to kind of help you through that process. So obviously you're not in it alone. And that kind of then brings us to the Union Park beginning teacher support. So our goal overall is to build, cultivate, and retain effective teachers. We want to make sure that you guys reach your full capacity wherever it may be. So we're going to make sure that we connect you with somebody on campus who might have the same 5-year plan or the same 10-year plan or the same interest in mind, just to make sure that we're all collaborating and we're meeting everybody where they are, and again, making sure that they reach their full potential. In order to do that, we do have monthly mentor meetings. Part of the OCPS process is that we assign you a mentor. So this person is assigned to you. They're there a little bit more for the academic part. They kind of are there to work with you through classroom management, through collaborative structures, engagement strategies, what's going to make your classroom work. They're there to be your person and to help guide you, and for you to be able to have that open conversation with them, possibly, letting them come into your classroom and model something for you or support you. So that is kind of what your monthly mentor, who your mentor would be on campus. But then we also have something called a Marigold, and I'm going to, this is kind of all of the teachers meeting together. Obviously, in the past, we've been able to meet face-to-face and kind of help you guys build those relationships amongst each other. Right now, it is virtual. So along with it being virtual, we wanted to provide like an extra set of support. So we created, again, this Marigold connection. I'm going to let Mr. McKnight talk to you about it a little bit.
Okay. Marigold connections are basically it's basically another level of added support for our teachers. We all understand that students being successful is the ultimate goal, but we understand as well that we need to make sure that teachers are supported so we can make that happen. So each person or each teacher will get a Marigold, and of course you will have a mentor as well, but this person is going to be a person on campus, whether it's something that deals with academics or it could be non-academic as well. Just making sure that you feel like you have somebody else who may have similar experiences, and that can also help you along the way as you start here at UP.
Thank you, Mr. McKnight. So yeah, he said it perfectly at the beginning. They're your person. So that person that you can go to for anything here on campus. Then you also have coaching support. So you'll have your instructional coaches who are going to be with you and guide you through PLCs. It's very important that you understand that these coaches, they're there for you. They're masters in their craft, whether it be reading, writing, math, science, and they're basically there to help guide you and coach you. Nobody expects that you come into education knowing every little thing about every subject area and everything there is to know about teaching. So they're really there to help on the instructional side of teaching, to definitely help build you and help you reach your greatest potential. So allow them to be there for you, allow them to coach you. Don't be scared to approach them, or, go to them with resources and kind of help you, mesh everything out. But really, really use them because, they're definitely there to help to support you and to not, nitpick you or, do anything like that. And then, of course, if you become a Mustang, obviously we've got you. I think Ms. Ramirez did a very good job, and, Mr. McKnight and I through this presentation of letting us know that building relationships is our biggest thing here on campus. We want you guys to feel like you're part of this family. Anybody who steps on this campus, whether it's a teacher, a staff member, a parent, whoever it may be, you're not in this alone. And with that being said, it's very important that as you start your journey, hopefully here, but wherever you may go, that you're listening to your own needs, that you keep in mind your physical needs, your mental needs, your emotional needs. We care about you. Like Mr. McKnight was saying, not everything is about academics. There's a lot more that goes into teaching, and you have to be good in order for your students to be good, in order for you to build those relationships. So obviously, if you ever need help with anything, we're here for you as an administrative team. The other teachers that you'll get to hear from today, they're here for you. And we just added kind of this quote at the bottom grow from asking for help. So definitely, whether you start here, whether it's somewhere else, definitely reach out for that feedback and that support, because it'll help you grow. And again, I know you guys are not teachers yet, but wherever you are in your journey, this definitely will apply to you. So we just had a few words of advice for first-year teachers.
Advice would you give to a first-year teacher?
Advice to all first-year teachers.
To all first-year teachers,
Welcome to the best profession ever. There's so...
Can somebody just let me know whether or not you guys were able to hear that?
We were.
They're shaking their head. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Advice would you give to a first-year teacher?
Advice to all first-year teachers.
to all first-year teachers,
Welcome to the best profession ever. There's so much that you're not going to be prepared for, and that is okay.
Believe in yourself and believe in the entire.
round two. Oh, we did it already. Round two.
Hi guys, I'm Miss Scott. I teach third grade. I've been teaching third grade for about 5 years. I was also teacher of the year, my second year teaching.
I am Miss Cole. I teach fifth grade. I've been teaching here at UPE for this is my 7th year. Also previously teacher of the year a long time ago.
All right, so we are talking about best instructional practices in classroom management. 2 things that we're really going to hone in on are making relationships with your students and creating a classroom environment that you would want to go to every single day. So I'll talk about a classroom environment. So you want to create a classroom environment that you would want to check into every day, that when a student walks into your door, they're not like, oh my gosh, I got to come here again. I wish I would have stayed home. You want to have like a classroom that's inviting, that's exciting, that students want to, when they wake up in the morning, they're like, oh my goodness, yes, I'm so ready to go to school. I want to be here. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. You don't want them to have an environment that's dreadful. You know, students come to school 5 days a week and they're with you more than they are with their parent. So it's super important to create a classroom environment that's welcoming, but that's also a place where you want to be every day, but the students also want to be. We've all had that class that we've dreaded going to, and you never want to make a student feel like that when they walk to your door. So it's super important to create a classroom environment that students want to come to every single day, Monday through Friday.
Miss Scott's doing such a good job, but I'm just going to say really fast in the chat if you want to click on presentation. We've done this. This is our 6th round today. So in the chat, our presentation is there. You can download a copy to it and save it for later in your Google Drive. There are a bunch of links inside of there that you can then look at later. We're just going to talk briefly because it is only 8 minutes, and we're going to focus on exactly what she was just talking about. On the first slide, if you want to click on the questions, the word questions, there is a Padlet where you can openly answer questions anonymously if you want to ask us anything during our presentation, or at the end we'll just go ahead and have you guys unmute if you feel comfortable doing that.
If you have questions, just ask them. Unmute yourself and ask questions. That's one thing. This is very, one-on-one and real. So if you have any specific questions, please let us know. We are talking about classroom management and instructional practices.
And just to keep going off of what Ms. Scott was already saying, and I know you guys have heard it so many times. I know you guys go to UCF and you hear things in your classes. You've heard our principal earlier speaking about it, but those relationships are really what we're focusing on, because when it comes to instructional practices as well as classroom management, relationships are the starter. That's the key. It opens up so many doors to how much your kids are going to work for you, how everything's going to play out. Those behaviors that you're so worried about, I promise you, they won't even exist after you build those relationships with your students. So you can go on the internet, you can research so many different things on different ways you can give incentives to your kids to get them excited about coming to school, different ways that you can get them engaged in the classroom, which are all really, really great. But before even going to the store and spending money on a class store or having them come in and earn little treats every single day, I just want you to really consider the fact that doing something as simple as a hug, hugging your students every single day, even though I know right now with COVID that's not always possible. Sometimes I still sneak them in, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. All right. But something as simple as a hug goes so far when they feel valued in your classroom and they feel like they're being heard. Listening to them as much as possible, even though that's honestly one of the hardest things. We were just talking about it earlier. You have students come up to you and they're trying to tell you this whole story and you're in the middle of trying to teach and you're like, yeah, oh, awesome, sounds good. And you don't really like actually listen, but if you take the time to listen to what they have to say, doing something like a check-in that I have, like I posted in here for you guys, you can download a copy. I have my students go in every morning and just answer the question, like, do you have anything to tell me? And they will literally tell you so many things. I find out so much about my students just from them filling out that check-in every single day. So little steps that build those relationships will go so far.
And even right now during this situation, building relationships is still important. I know we can't really hug and touch, but some things that you can do is like positive affirmations each day. Just checking in and saying, how was your night last night? You know, how's your morning going? Is something bothering you? Just being very personable with them. I sometimes even mail letters home to my students, and they'll come like, oh, I got a letter from you last night. And it's just the little things that build trust and also build love. And then once you have their relationship, their trust and their love, they will do absolutely anything that you ask them to do. No matter how high, no matter how high your expectations are, they will meet them because you guys have that relationship. You have that bond together.
I'm almost positive they've been giving us a minute warning, but they didn't do it this last time, so we're getting close to the 8 minutes. So does anyone have any questions you want to ask? I know it's so quick, but trust me, it's very informal. You can ask anything.
And I know that was a lot of information. We're just trying to give it to you guys all at once. But the key things are have an incredible classroom that you want to come to each day, and make sure you have a personal relationship with each of your students.
Questions?
What exactly did you say write in those mail letters to your students? Is it just like you're doing a great job in the classroom, or is it like a little bit more personable? Like, what exactly did you say?
So yeah, I love that question. That was a great question. Kiera? Okay.
Yes.
So some of them are very personal. It's like, oh, you know, I try to make it really sweet, like something they know that I noticed that they didn't think I noticed. Like yesterday when you helped such and such, I really thought that was very caring of you. I'm watching you and I appreciate what you do. Or to be like, you did so well on your math test yesterday. I'm really proud of how you're improving in math. Just anything like really specific to them. I try to make it really general, really specific so they know. It just feels more special. Not just like, oh, great job today, you know, because everybody gets great job. But like, I love the way you walked in line this morning when we were leaving recess, and you just like the way you held up those stairs, you know, just something, you know, bragging on them. And then also one thing that really helps too is phone call home to their parents for good things. Like, oh my gosh, today, you know, when you call parents, it's always like, oh, what did you do today? But when you call them for something good, they tell thear child. They're like, oh, your teacher called me today. And then the kid comes to school all like boasty and like, oh, my mom, like, you called me? Like, you have a phone? Like, yes, I have a phone to call you up for good things. So just anything that builds that relationship. But yes, the letters are very personal to them. Even if they have a new baby coming home, I'm like, congratulations on your new little sister, little brother. But anything like, it could be the smallest thing to you, but it's the biggest thing to them. Because, you know, sometimes as parents are working all day. You know, when they get home, it's like, how was your day? This and that. But they still, you know, they have a lot to do. So having that extra the teacher just doing that extra bit, that may seem like it may be a lot of work for us, but it really, truly makes a difference to a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 5-year, you know, that really makes their life and just makes everything so much sweeter.
They really look up to their teachers, and it means so much. And then honestly, like, I'm gonna give you a little sneak, like how I mentally think too, is a lot of these kids have siblings, and when we talk about enrolling families, they all have so many siblings. I've had so many students that I've had their sibling come up after them. So when you do things like that, you think only your students notice, but I promise you, every student in the school notices. They will come up to you and you have no idea who they are, and they're like, I want to be in your class when I'm in 5th grade. Or like their siblings talk and they talk to each other, and they know like, even just for an example, those letters, like making them super specific means a lot, because they talk to their friends. They know, oh, did you get a letter from this guy? Oh, what did it say? Like, they share those kinds of things. So just putting in that extra effort, I just can't say it enough, is just so worth it.
And even if you can't like necessarily mail all the letters home, sometimes I write notes on their desk in the morning, and it's very just to them. You know, I make sure each note is private. I'll write on their desk and say something, and they come in like, oh, what did yours say? What did mine say? What did yours say? You know, so just doing we have 1 minute left. So just doing something really special to that student and to all students. You want to have a relationship with each student individually. Any other questions? We have 1 minute, like 48 seconds. Everybody's good.
No, but I want to appreciate all the feedback.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. And we wish you the best of luck in your careers and everything. And never give up on teaching. We need great teachers. We really do. So I wish you guys the best of luck.
And we take interns, so maybe
Yes.
one of you will see. Hopefully.
Yes, we are taking.
All right, sorry.
Hello, everyone. I hope y'all are doing great. It's moving so fast. We joked earlier after doing the morning session. It feels like speed dating. That's so fast.
That's actually what it feels like.
That's right. Hi, how are you? Hi, I'm this, I'm that, or that. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you guys all for joining us this evening.
Is Ms. Knowles getting set up right now?
Yeah, I think I got it. You guys, you can see my screen, right?
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so, wait, did you already introduce yourself? I got here later than you.
we did what we can. My name,
You can go first.
my name is Michael Hart. I teach third grade, and I'm fully virtual at this time.
And I am Emily Knoll, and I am teaching second grade, and I'm also fully virtual at this time. So it's only appropriate that we bring you our Teaching with Technology session, and we are going to be focusing on one specific tool that we use that the district provides for us, which is Smart Suite, which is compatible with Smartboards if we were in the classroom, but since we're not, we can just use it on its own right now. Both myself and Mr. Hart are very passionate about technology, whether it be just from virtual learning, or we also used it a lot in the classroom since we were a one-to-one digital school when we were face-to-face. So this first feature of Smart Suites that we're going to show you is a collaborative board. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up. You can set it up to have your students work in small groups. For today, I'm just going to put everybody on the same team, so it's just one big collaborative board. I chose the question, what is your favorite holiday dessert? So if you guys want to go ahead and answer that and explore on the student end what you can do as far as your answers, you can write a text box, you can draw on it, or you can put a picture actually on the board. So if you want, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to go ahead and do that really quickly. Mr. Hart, did you have anything to add to that one?
Yes, absolutely love this collaborative activity, and it's something that I usually use when I'm asking an open-ended question. I want to, or something that, okay, I'm starting a new unit, and I want to see what background knowledge are the students bringing to this new unit of instruction. Oh yes, add that nice dessert. I want to need some of these recipes. Also thinking about the social emotional piece. When one of my students withdrew earlier this year, my students used this to create this nice, beautiful visual card with nice images and words, saying, we'll miss you. You're always going to be part of our classroom community. His mom was able, I was able to, take a screenshot of it and then send it to his mom, and she was just bawling and in tears, and he had it with him printed out on the last day he was with us. So it was just a powerful tool to be used.
I started the picture one first. So the last couple, I didn't put a picture until like a little bit later, so then nobody else put pictures. But I love the pictures because it makes it even. No, that's not great. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go to our next feature, which is an individual board for the students. So both myself and Mr. Hart both really like using this individual board for math specifically. So if you guys want to go ahead and try, you don't have to like go crazy with this problem, but just kind of like draw a little model to solve this problem, and then
I'll show you from my end what I see as a teacher. All right, and I know that not everybody's done, and that's okay. Some people, it's okay. I have one that I'm going to show, and they're not even done yet. But I just want to, since we're short on time, just bring your attention to one person's screen. So if you want to go ahead and look at my screen, I have a model here that somebody was drawing. Thank you, Mary, for your beautiful drawing. I can see as a teacher, I can see that they made that group of 10 and 12. They made the two groups of 20 here, and then or two groups of 10 to make what they're drawing as I'm going. This is great. So then on their screen, I know that they're in the right direction. They're almost definitely have one that they have it right in their model. So I can draw, give them a little feedback on their screen, be like, yay, you're doing great. Just something on their screen to give them that feedback. Sorry, I cut off your three. But on the other end of that, I can also give feedback if they need a little bit of redirection. So especially because we are, virtual, I'm not there with them to kind of like help them along the way. This is really easy for me to give them that feedback and for me to see their work as they're going, because for math that's so important. So I might, if maybe they were subtracting instead of adding, I can circle that plus sign and just draw an arrow and give them that like redirection to maybe go back and check their work. So for most students, that's enough. Some other students, you might have to walk through a little bit more. But again, that's just meeting the needs of the students that are in your class. Mr. Hart, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, this particular feature, I always think of it as, in face-to-face classrooms where all the students will have their individual whiteboards and a dry erase marker, and you're walking around and you're able to kneel down and whisper individually to those students. We can't do that in a virtual environment. Even if I whisper, all the kids are going to hear me via my microphone. So this is that alternative, that virtual alternative, and it's such a powerful tool. Something else like Ms. Noel is doing right now, she's sharing the work of this particular student, and that allows other students to kind of see. I said, okay, this student, I'm looking on Smart Notebook, and let's see what this mathematician did, right? So when I'm noticing students are doing out-of-the-box things, I like to showcase that it's very powerful when other students can see, oh, someone in our class did this. So I like this feature for that reason as well.
Okay, and then the next one, I messed this up. This was a MID thing. I had it right this morning, and then I tried to fix something, and then now it's not there. But we do have other features that I want to show you as well. There was a multiple choice question that I did have added to this presentation, and it's just another thing that SmartSuites offers to give us that data as teachers that we need to make sure that our students are progressing the way that we want them to throughout the lesson. So it's something that's easy as an exit slip. We can just throw a multiple choice question in there, or true or false, or a short answer, something, and it will also give us that data right away. And we also can export it to an Excel sheet, so that way we can either take it for a grade or save it for later. So that way we'll be able to look at it after the lesson as well.
Absolutely. The multiple choice question I have found, especially for math and science, very powerful at the start of a lesson, during a lesson. Okay, let me pause here. I just said a lot, or we just did a lot. Let's pause and actually process what we just learned. So another powerful tool. I think the room's going to close. So if you have any questions, just write them down, and we'll have a period of question and answer in a moment as we come back together as a whole group.
What kind of informal assessments do you do mid-lesson, like you said, to see if the kids are understanding or if you need to review?
Okay, we have 48 seconds, but I can't answer this. So that multiple choice question would be one that I would do. Okay, we talked about this particular topic. We were reading about the Constitution one time. Okay, let me pause and let's go ahead and do a quick little checkup question based off what we already learned. So multiple choice question would be extremely powerful in those knowledge-based recall type situations. Whereas the whiteboard would be key for math, right? I use it a lot for math. So the multiple choice question would be the most powerful tool there.
Okay, here comes everybody. Session 3 must still be talking. Here they come. Okay, welcome back. I hope everybody enjoyed your breakout rooms. It looks like just about everybody is here. So this is the time during the tour where we are going to welcome a few questions for Ashlyn and her team. So if you would like to ask a question to the whole group, if you would unmute and ask the question and then go ahead and mute, and Ashlyn or one of her team members will answer your questions.
You love questions?
Hi. I have a question. My name's Jeanette, and I was just wondering if I could learn a little bit more about that induction, like the houses and how you break everyone up, because that seems really cool and super interesting.
For sure. I'm going to defer this question to Ms. Hudson, who I know is with Ms. Scott and Ms. Cole. I know that they're kind of together. But that is part of our new teacher as well. Like, we make sure, as Mr. McKnight was talking about, we make sure that every teacher is a part of that. So I just want to defer that question to Ms. Hudson, since she kind of owns that at our school. Great question, by the way. Ms. Hudson?
Hi, everybody. Yes, most definitely. Yes. Can you hear me?
It sounds very strange.
Hello?
Right now?
Hello?
Better. It's good. It's good.
Can you hear me now?
Super weird sounding.
Hello?
Now it's better. No, it sounds very strange.
Awkward silence. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, it's much better.
Perfect. Okay, sorry so much. Technology is interesting. So yes, house system. Absolutely love it. So what we do is we induct every single person on our campus in a house. And you're probably like, okay, well, how do we do that? Honestly, it's at random. So we pull every list from the staff, from everyone, and we induct them. So I literally go through the list and I say blue, green, black, red. And I keep going. And then everybody's inducted. So the house is based upon a fate, the fate of the house. So we really want everybody to understand. I'm going to take off my mask so you can really hear me. Everybody to understand that everybody has these characteristics of all the houses, but the fate of your house is the house that just happens for you to embody and love in that house. So we have the house of givers, the house of love and friendship, the house of courage, the house of dreamers. And some of the best things that I've ever seen is the collaboration between all the students. It just so happens that the students that are usually really, really quiet are in the house of courage, so that they're able to really, really be able to express themselves. And then what we do is we make sure that every teacher in every single grade level is a part of a house, so they have someone that they can really truly relate to. So if you choose Union Park, even if you're an intern, guess what? You'll be inducted into a house as well.
Thank you so much. That's so cool.
Thank you, Miss Hudson, and thank you for that super quick problem solving. That was awesome. Catch your breath now. Any other questions?
I had a question. For first year teachers, is there like an ELL assistant or something that could help you modify your lesson for ELL students of different ranges?
That's a great question. So every school will pretty much have, for the most part, some type of ELL leadership representation. So it may be in conjunction with the staffing specialist, and it may also be something in its own realm. Our school this year, we have somebody who specifically focuses on ELLs. That's a little bit different, and not all schools have that. Obviously, it presents different challenges this year with virtual and face-to-face, but absolutely. And I have to say, some of the best resources you'll find will be in the teachers on your team and some of their best practices that they've, kind of figured out along the way. So that's a great question, and absolutely, there's great supports at schools and as well on the team that you would be on for sure. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
I have a question. The ones who the ones who had to transition from teaching face-to-face to virtual, how are you guys handling that, and how are the students handling it? Because I know that can be really rough.
No, for sure. So first of all, I'm probably gonna have a teacher that does hybrid answer that question. So Mr. McKnight, get ready. But basically, at first I want to just make sure that we say it's something that is definitely not easy, but it's something that our teachers have really piloted the way. We can try to give them all of the professional development that we want, but the teachers are really figuring things out and almost giving us the professional development as they figure it out along the way. But I'm gonna defer. So Mr. McKnight, he's a great teacher leader on our campus, and he actually does a hybrid model. He teaches 5th grade, as he stated, and you guys visited his room. And he does an exceptional job of balancing the two, even though he probably is like, no, but he really does. It's truly an exceptional job. So Mr. McKnight, feel free to take it away on that one.
Thank you, ma'am. Like you said, Mary, is definitely a challenge. And at first I was probably like what everybody would think, because like you have half of your students online and then the other half face to face. And especially I teach math and science, so math is definitely for me a little bit easier. Whereas science, you have experiments and things of that nature, which makes it a lot more difficult. But I will say that it does stretch you as a teacher so that you can start sort of collaborating with other people and using or finding different ideas to make it engaging. Obviously, like I said before, you can't really necessarily do those experiments or those group experiments because of social distancing and all that, or being at home. So just really stretching you to make sure and make things engaging for students. I think a couple of weeks ago I did an escape room for science. Ooh. And my students have been obsessed with like Among Us, so I made it themed and that sort of thing, and they were very excited about it and going through. So just making those opportunities. And will it take a little bit more time? Absolutely, but then again, it will definitely make it worth it for the kids as they're learning in this new environment, because it's new for all of us.
I really like that. Do you think, to go along with that, do you think this experience has made you a better teacher?
It definitely, I honestly feel like it does, because in all honesty, if you can teach in this time and you find any bit of success, you can honestly teach after COVID or anything that goes through.
So true. Thank you, Mr. McKnight. And,
Thank you.
They're all doing an exceptional job with this, inspiring me every day, truly, with their innovation. Any other questions before we kind of summarize our a little bit more about UPE and put you in touch with everybody? Any other questions? We love questions.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was majoring in ESC, and I was wondering how you guys do your ESC classrooms, if they're usually one classroom or they're separated and stuff like that.
Yeah, so great question. So basically at our school, and it's different at every school, it's a little bit different, but we have an inclusion model. So all of our students are in the classes with our gen ed classes, and they basically receive supports and services. I'm going to have Miss Scott and Miss Cole just briefly speak to that because they do an exceptional job really bridging the gaps and meeting the diverse needs of our students. Oh, I'm not sure if your sound is working. Miss Cole, Miss Scott, supporting ESC students. I just caught you off guard. I'm so sorry. Yep, go ahead, Miss Cole.
No, our computer's like really not working.
It's okay. If you want to, it's.
You can hear me now?
No.
Hello?
No. No, ma'am. It's okay. We're gonna. If you want to, maybe put some things.
Oh my gosh!
We need to. I'm gonna mute.
Of course.
Yeah, we need to mute them.
All right, guys. So, yeah, just quickly with how we're supporting our students with disabilities.
So we were just talking because we actually had a question in our group about ESC as well as something earlier. So we just want to kind of let you know that I know that seems like it's something that's like totally separate, but it's not. Everyone, especially at our school, like Ms. Ramirez already said, is inclusion. We have specific teachers that do come and push in, but as a teacher, Reg Ed teacher, K through 6, we're expected to give those accommodations. And just the key word would be differentiate. That's really all what it comes down to. Differentiate everything. We're going to meet the needs of students without lowering the expectations. So even though they have those accommodations, we still hold those high expectations and just kind of scaffold and differentiate and meet them and help them move up to what we want them to be. I'm out of breath because, sorry, I was really trying to.
That was perfect.
Anything to add, Ms. Scott?
Everything you said. That was perfect. Thank you, guys. No, that's perfect. Thank you for that quick problem solving. Any other questions? I think, Tristan, did you have another question?
Yeah. So as a first year teacher, would you be teaching like all 4 main subjects, or would you be doing like I don't remember who it was, but did math and science?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on your grade level, and we're pretty. There's not a lot of ideas I'm gonna completely shoot down if I think that it might be best for kids. So, we definitely have our 5th grade is departmentalized, but next year, depending on if they all came to me and said, we want to just teach it in isolation. I'm not, as long as we can look at the research and try to figure out what's best for kids. As of right now, just 5th grade is departmentalized. Every other grade level teaches all the subjects, but I'm typically not opposed to any, creative thoughts about how we do it. One size doesn't fit all, and then sometimes it's about the dynamics on the team. This year, my 5th grade team had some solid dynamics, so I wanted to make sure they could departmentalize because I really believe strongly in that collaboration piece. But it doesn't always work like that, so it kind of just varies from year to year. For the most part, you'd be teaching all subjects, yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
Tristan, the great thing about that is that you will have a team of teachers that will be working with you, and everybody works together. So you don't have to plan all of that by yourself. And within Orange County Public Schools, there are a ton of resources. And so you and your team plan together, like Ashlyn said, for what's best for the students that are in your grade level. And so you utilize that time together. So that might sound a little scary that you would be teaching all of those areas. And believe me, I am a UCF grad, go Knights, from ancient times and back when we had to go to the library and get resources. It's very different. And I did teach elementary, and you can do it. So it's really exciting to see how far education has come and the collaboration pieces that are in place nowadays, and having principal support is so important. And I know from the team that's on here talking to all of you tonight, you can see the culture You can see the relationships that they have with their administrator, and in turn, that makes it such a happy place for students and for teachers, during the day to learn and to grow. So we are getting close to time. Before we end, I wanted you to take a minute to talk about the Teacher Quality Partnership,
Yes.
if you could.
Absolutely. So, as Ms. Bonnie said, we do have we are one of the featured Teacher Quality Partnership schools. So what that means is essentially we partner with UCF and we provide a lot of support to interns and to teachers as they're hired. So it's something that's a great asset to us, and we are so excited about the opportunities that that's going to bring. But as I stated earlier, some of the things about our school is we are so open. We are, even amidst all of this chaos right now with some of the challenges that COVID may be bringing, we just really believe in doing what's best for kids. So it's not a one size fits all. My teachers and staff feel very comfortable to come and bring me kind of different ideas or creative ideas. But Dr. Mary Little with Teacher Quality Partnership, as Ms. Bonnie just stated in the chat, I mean, that's a great resource that we have, and that's something that sets us apart from other schools. But I do want to share with you just a screen, and I hope you just take a picture of it. As I stated earlier, these educators that you were able to hear from tonight truly are amazing resources. We do hope that when all of this passes, you will come and visit us. You'll choose us to do your internship. We just believe so strongly on really strengthening our pipeline at our school and building this partnership, and really we believe in, I strongly believe that I want to help everybody on our campus, whether you are the custodian, a bus driver, a teacher, a staff member, whatever, in whatever capacity you're at our school. I really believe in helping you get to where you want to go and really maximizing your capacity and whatever it is that you aspire to be. And that's something that I feel very passionate about and I think is so critical. But I want to share with you, for you to take a quick little picture of their contact information real quick. So just if you want to take a quick picture of this, but these are some of the amazing people that you heard from tonight. And again, they're just great resources, and you may hear my husband singing Baby Carter behind me, but these are just some amazing resources. I do hope you connect with them, because regardless, I mean, again, they have some amazing ideas and they really represent experts in the field. And I hope that you reach out and connect, and we hope that we hear from you when you decide to do your internship, and just that you choose us and that you're able to see some of the great things happening at Union Park.
Ashlyn, if you can, I already tweeted from tonight, but if you can tweet and add that in, I used the slide from earlier today, because this one actually has their email addresses, which I love. Perfect. So I did tag you in it, and UCF students, I tagged UCF Teacher Education and Dean Carroll and the CCIE, so you can grab this easily there as well. Please take our survey so that we have feedback on how you felt about the tour. Honestly, our principal teams and our resource teachers and our teachers did their very best to give you what it would be like a day in the life of your time at Union Park Elementary School. We have heard that internships are going back face to face, so fingers crossed everything stays that way, and look forward to seeing all of you in the future. I do get the opportunity to see you at the night eds and in your classrooms and at a lot of the events, so I'm going to put my information in the chat box as well. But please take a copy of our survey, and if everyone would thank Ashlyn and her team for being here tonight. We're so glad that you were here. On behalf of UCF and Orange County Public Schools, we are excited that you're coming into education, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was great.
Thank you.
There's my baby. been giving me the doggy stare, like, what are you doing?
Thank you guys again.
Thanks, everybody.
Of course. Thank you.
And somebody grab out that tweet tonight and add that last, like,
Gotcha. I will do that.
I can't
Yep.
add it. Thank you.
No problem.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good night.
Hopefully we'll get to do this face to face in spring.
That would be awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.